This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI Studios in Toronto, Canada.
Hey Toronto, this is Ed Sheeran.
This is Kelly Clarkson.
Hi, this is Bryan Adams.
This is Adele.
This is Madonna.
It's Michael Bublé, and you're listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep Show. It's fun. They're amazing.
Okay, if you're someone who has the hybrid model at work where, you know, you have those mandatory days where you have to come into work and then the rest of the week you work from home.
Isn't that kind of like everybody at this point?
I think so. I mean, there are certainly some companies like us, for instance, like we got to come in every day to do our job.
We've never had the work from home thing, but I feel like there's most people are kind of working from home for the most part, like a 3-2 split or something like that.
Okay, so if you have to go to work, on the days that you have to go to work, have you ever done something called coffee badging?
Huh?
Coffee badging. So apparently it's a new workplace trend, and this is where you show up to the office just long enough for a coffee meeting, okay? And that way you've swiped in, you've fulfilled your...
You show face.
You show face, you get a coffee, whatever, you talk to a couple people, and then you just go home. You just go back, you start working from home from there. Nobody's paying attention to when you leave. So you just kind of like, you do what you need to do, check off the boxes.
This can't be real.
And then you go. Apparently, not only is it real, there was a 2023 report and they surveyed some U.S. workers. 58% of hybrid employees said they were coffee badging.
But wait a minute, like your boss comes to your desk at like 10:15 in the morning, you're not there.
Yeah, but
so it's like because you badged out.
You were in the bathroom.
For the rest of the day?
Like, yeah. Who's keeping tabs on you like that? I guess it also depends on what your work dynamic is and what the environment is. These people who are coffee badging are getting away with it.
So I come in to do the first half an hour of the show, then I just peace out. Where'd Gurdeep go? I don't know. He's been gone for 3.5 hours.
I mean, I might not question it. I might just be like, he's probably talking to someone in the hall.
You know what you do is leave a hot cup of coffee on your desk and then go. Oh. And then if somebody comes in, well, there's a coffee there.
Nice. It will cost you $4 a day, but
yeah,
still.
How long is that going to stay hot for, though? Like an hour?
I don't know. Get somebody to warm it up. Get an intern to warm it up for you.
Or put up one of those stickies that say, be right back.
That's right.
Back in 5.
Are you like playing hooky or you're going home to work from home the rest of the day?
You're still working from home. Like you're still doing all the things you would normally do.
This doesn't make any sense because you have a meeting and then you're like all of a sudden at home for your meeting. What are you putting, like a green screen background of your office?
Well, no, like you're not showing up on a video call. You're just doing your work. Like
but video calls are part of everyone's day, I think.
Sometimes, not always.
We don't have regular jobs, so we don't know.
Wow. You would think like I was coffee badging and ripping you off somehow. You feel...
Well, this just doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'll tell you what. Since we don't have real jobs, those of you with real jobs, tell us, text us. Coffee badging? Is this a real thing? Have you heard of this? Is it even possible?
And have you done it?
Text us, 981-981.
From CHFI Studios,
It's the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Who is the greatest Canadian entertainer of all time? Can I just say before we get to the results, and thank you to everyone who voted. We put together like March Madness bracket style, greatest Canadian entertainer of all time. It was really hard populating the list.
Yeah, even coming up with, was it 16?
16. And I had people DMing me, friends DMing me, strangers going, why isn't Mike Myers on the list? Where's Jim Carrey? Mm-hmm. How could you leave Alanis off?
Yeah.
Where's Sidney Crosby? I'm like, there's a lot of great Canadian entertainers. It's really hard to pick 16.
We actually were all involved in trying to pick up who we wanted to match up against who. And it took like a while. It took us a lot of debating back and forth. So
yeah, because we tried to create spicy matchups and not overload one side of the brackets that we had two, bangers in the final. And I think that part worked out.
Can we just say that Mr. Dress Up and Pamela Anderson was your idea? I just want to put that out there.
That was all Gurdeep. That was all Gurdeep.
Like facing them off again. It's just like so wholesome and
not so wholesome.
So wholesome and Mr. Dress Up. Okay, so how should we do this? Should we just say the winner?
I think we should, who was in the final?
Okay,
we should go with that.
Okay.
After all of your votes.
And part of this final shocked me. It was Ryan Reynolds, that's the shocking part for me, versus Michael J. Fox, which I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox making it to the end, not surprised about, but also how do you compete with Michael J. Fox? Like, sorry, Ryan Reynolds, it doesn't matter how much you are loved. How do you compete with Michael J. Fox?
And it's interesting because if you're paying attention to the news over the weekend, a lot of the people on this list kind of popped into the news, including Michael J. Fox.
It's so true. So he actually played with Coldplay in this sort of impromptu, it looked like at least it was impromptu that he got out and started playing guitar. He played on Humankind and Fix You. And apparently had everybody in tears because it was so
awesome.
good.
And I was just watching Back to the Future where he was playing at the high school dance up on stage. So I'm like, it's giving me those vibes. Michael J. Fox, voted by you as the greatest Canadian entertainer of all time.
Yes.
That's all right, eh?
I would agree.
And
no argument here.
None of us had it right in our brackets, except for Boss Man Blair, who's not here today. He actually had Michael J. winning over Wayne Gretzky.
Oh.
Who did you have in your final?
So I had Celine actually winning the whole thing.
Over
Bryan Adams.
Over Brian Adams.
Yes.
See, it's hard to argue with any of these finals. And Celine, I thought, okay, she might win it because the documentary's out now. She was
Yes.
just at the NHL draft on Friday.
And she looked great.
She looked great.
Yeah. Who did you have?
I had Wayne Gretzky beating Celine Dion. I think my
Okay.
sports bias colored my votes there.
I don't even think Wayne Gretzky made it past the first round, right? Didn't Christine?
He beat Christine Sinclair, then he lost to Ryan Reynolds. I had Ryan Reynolds losing in the first round to Ryan Gosling. I was way off.
No, I did like the CHFI music thing. I did at Bryan Adams and Celine, and then I had Celine winning.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if I had to do it personally, I wouldn't have picked that. I would have picked Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, we were picking strategically. You would have picked Ryan Reynolds, eh?
Yeah,
really?
right to the end.
I'm a Gosling guy.
I
Sorry,
know
guys.
now.
Wow.
Thanks a lot for voting. And Michael J. Fox, we know you're listening. You're the greatest.
The Pooja and Gurdeep Podcast.
This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Most boomers won't give up retirement lifestyle to help children. This is according to an Australian survey, and we started talking about it in here. The converse of that is there are some families that are giving money to their kids, letting them tap into their inheritance while they're in their 30s and 40s and they need it to, start a family, buy a house. So two schools of thought on this.
Yeah, and some of it is reasonable, some of it is surprising. How do you feel about it, and what are you doing with your family? Let's go to Marianne in Toronto.
I don't think we should, and I'll explain why. It happened to a friend of mine, and when my dad passed away. If you give your money away from your inheritance, what happens if your parents get ill? Like I know when my dad retired, when he went into a nursing home, it was costing us about $5,000 a month. So if you give away all your inheritance, you won't. A lot of times you won't have enough money to support your parents when they need it the most.
You're saying
I had a friend that's what they did. The parents moved in with her. They sold the house. They split the money. Then when they got ill, nobody was willing to help. So it's great to give your kids money to help them, but you have to remember, when you retire, it is very expensive, and God forbid the person's ill, that it becomes even more expensive.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point.
It's something you got to think about, right? Where's
Yeah.
that money coming from if you've given away your inheritance?
Right. Yeah, and if you start giving away to your kids while they're alive, you got to keep some kind of nest egg for a rainy day.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Gary in Uxbridge. What is your family doing when it comes to finances, retirement, savings?
Well, we're looking at leaving the cottage for the kids. Right at the moment, we have all of our kids and our grandkids moved back into our house so that they can help stabilize their financial situation, and we're supporting them that way. We do have some issues with their spending.
Right. So that's so interesting, Gary. Like Pooja and I were just talking off air, like in our culture, in Indian culture, like in India, it's common for, when a man and woman get married, for the woman to move into the house with the man and his parents, and they all live together. And you start to see some generational households now, but that's more out of necessity for finance.
We have always fostered a close family relationship, so it just seemed, like for them to come back was like, okay, they were having some issues and they needed to help, so that was not a problem.
Gary, thanks so much. I do love the idea of a generational household because not only for finances, you can get a nicer place. You can
Maybe a bigger place.
Yeah, break it into separate little areas if you do need your privacy. Also for childcare too, right?
Yeah.
You've got grandparents, built-in babysitters.
It sounds great in theory. I mean, as long as you're okay with being around people all the time, it works.
Yeah, there's that. So lots of viewpoints on this one. What are you doing when it comes to inheritance? Francine in Thornhill, good morning, and what are you doing?
Okay, I'm a senior myself. My husband and I are second-generation Canadians, and I can tell you what we have done. It's worked out really, really well. My suggestion is most people start thinking about this when it's too late. They think about it when they're in crisis rather than when they're beginning their lives. And what we did, we have been real estate agents for 45 years together. And from day one, we've always had 2 or 3 different accounts, and we broke our accounts out: savings, business expenses, home expenses. And every paycheck, we put money into each one of them. Soon as we had an asset, like a house, we made a will. And the lawyer told us, put everything into your biological children's names, not your in-law children, and take out life insurance. And as little as it was, we did all of those things. And believe it or not, most of my friends never even had life insurance policies. Now, my husband has just passed away a year and a half ago, and I got a big chunk of change, and I gave some to my daughter and some to my son, and a lot for me. And we've taught our children to do the same thing, that you don't have to necessarily wait until you're in crisis to do this, but rather do it when you're getting started.
Francine from Thornhill, a couple things. First off, so sorry for your loss. You lost your husband a year and a half ago. And number 2, can you plan my life? Fran, how smart is that? 3 bank accounts for 3? I mean, obviously, you have to be in a certain financial standing to be able to fill 3 bank accounts like that. But just the planning, that's brilliant.
I think the planning is the point here, is that, you sort of start from a young age and you think about these things because you got to sort of plan for the future, which is key. We're also getting texts at 981-981. Thank you for all your calls and all your texts. A lot of people responding here. We have given all of our money to our kids. Worst case scenario, we move in with them.
Okay, maybe that's the deal you make. Hey, we're going to give you your inheritance while we're still alive, but if bleep hits the fan, we're moving in. Mario from Maple, what is your family doing in terms of retirement and inheritance?
I think the first thing that has to happen is you have to educate your kids on actually how to save money, okay? Because at the end of the day, my brother and I, when our parents passed, left us their house. Now, if we did what most people would do, they probably would have just sold it off and taken the money and paid for whatever they wanted to do, or do something frivolous like buy a new car or something along those lines, never really looking long term, where instead what we ended up doing is retaining that household, using the equity in it for our expenses, and using the property as rental income.
Smart.
Right? Most people just go ahead, oh, you know what? We've got this. We don't have it. We have our own homes, even though we have a mortgage. Let's pay this. Let's take the money and do something else. But the problem is that nobody really looks at what you can do long term. Like you said, it costs a fortune to live in the city, and everything just, appreciates in value. So why sell something off that will possibly appreciate, and then you can borrow against that? That's why I'm saying I think kids these days, or the younger generation, should stop worrying about what kind of car they're driving or where they're going on vacation, and look at what they can do with their finances.
Yeah.
Preach. We are hearing some very wise words this morning.
And it should be a course. Like it should be something that all young people have to take in school.
Mario, thanks so much for the call. This was really great.
My pleasure. Take care, guys.
From CHFI Studios,
It's the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast. The nearly impossible question.
with Pooja and Gurdeep.
Okay, a bit of a tricky one today, in my opinion. 1/3 of us know someone who's done this on vacation. What do you think it is?
Let's go to Shannon in Clarington.
I'm thinking they got married.
Got married on vacation.
Oh, like an impromptu
wedding.
kind of thing?
Like a little destination wedding.
Like Britney Spears style at a chapel?
No.
Yeah, well, no, I'm thinking more like those, all-inclusives, and you get married. Somebody did it.
Oh, okay. It was
Yeah.
planned that way.
Planned, yeah, like a
Yes.
destination wedding. Shannon, great guess, but that's not it.
All right. Thanks very much. Have a great day.
You too. Nancy for Burlington, what's your guess?
Probably not, but I'm going to say it anyways. How about a little fling?
Ooh, a little vacation romance.
Yes.
What happens on vacation stays on vacation kind of thing.
Exactly.
That was
exactly.
that was fun. See you never.
And neither have I.
Sounds like Gurdeep speaking from experience.
I don't know what. Nancy,
That's not it, Nancy.
Nancy, great guess, but that's not it.
Okay, have a good day.
Why are you turning a certain shade of red right now?
Cat got your tongue? Let's check the text line. So 1/3 of us know someone who's done this on vacation. Bob texting in skinny dipping.
Ooh, okay. Can't say I've done that, but that is a good guess. That's not it. Also, Shorn from Whitby saying, is the answer work? actually work on.
Okay.
A lot of people
Workation,
do.
yeah. Or what did you call it? Bleisure recently,
Yes,
right? Like
leisure.
business leisure.
You remember things I say. That was blication.
Yeah, we liked it better as blication. We changed it. Brian from Pickering, go to a nude beach. We're getting spicy answers this morning, and you know what? I'm here for it.
Deanne from Cannington saying, get a tattoo. Oh, so you go on vacation and maybe you're like, ugh.
You're like, ooh, I love it here. Let's get a Tahiti tattoo.
Yeah, I want a palm tree or like an umbrella drink
on
tattoo.
my lower back. Mary with a peculiar guess. Mary texting and saying, good morning, my friends. Would the answer be don't take a shower?
Huh.
Mary, why? You're not on vacation from hygiene. You're just on vacation. What?
Okay, some really fun ones on the text line, including this one. Make up a name for themselves. Oh,
that I like.
You're somebody else.
That I've done.
You've done that?
Gordon Anderson, I told you.
Yeah. GA. You couldn't come up with just another day. You couldn't just be John?
No, because that way it's like, it's like a weird like pseudo version of me. It's like still like within the
Okay.
You're
like an alter ego.
Yeah. It's not like, hi, I'm Bob. No one's going to believe that.
Here's the question. Right, because Gordon Anderson is so believable. Gurdeep Malawalia.
Fair.
The question again is 1/3 of us know someone who has done this on vacation. What do you think it is? Is it time for a hint or should we wait?
Let's give it a hint. Okay, 1/3 of us know someone who's done this on vacation. This is a massive hint. Listen.
Kevin! Oh.
What do you think it is? Let's go to David in Markham.
I know you guys gave out the hint, but I'm still going to give my original guess. Stolen something from a hotel or from somewhere while on vacation.
Stolen something like a towel or some toiletries or a robe or something like that?
I actually know someone who stole a phone from a hotel.
What?
Why? Like a landline?
I have no idea. That was my question. I never got an answer.
Maybe it was one of those like old school like antique rotary phones or something that's just kind of like ironic or like a decoration piece. I mean, still not okay.
I mean, do they realize when they hit like room service, nobody comes at home?
Maybe they wanted their house to feel like a hotel at home and it had like a room service button.
Oh, maybe.
Right? Sorry, we're galaxy braining it now. Sorry, David, we've lost the plot. That's not it, but great guess.
Have a good one, guys.
You too.
Andre from Mississauga. Good morning. Give us your guess.
That was a massive hint that you guys gave.
I know. We said too much.
I'm going to guess leaving your kids at home, forgetting them at home.
Oh, okay. I see how that hint sort of pointed you in that direction.
Do we...
Yeah, I mean, it's,
You got it!
Oh, my God!
The answer is leave someone behind. So not specifically your kids. Could be your kids. Could be your spouse. Could be whoever.
And are you leaving them? You could be leaving them behind at home, but you could also be leaving them behind while on vacation, which is what happened to a friend of mine where they were on a cruise. It was a family vacation. She's an adult and they went to port somewhere and they all split up and they all got back onto the boat, or so they thought. They forgot her.
That's wild.
They forgot her and didn't realize till dinner.
And she was,
oh my God.
Yes.
Like, that must be terrifying for that person and also probably has to be worked out in therapy.
Well, she does travel alone a lot, so she figured out how to get to the next port and meet them, but still.
Yeah, she's a swimmer.
Yes.
Andre, congrats, buddy. You got it.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
There you go. Leave someone behind. You didn't think that this was possible.
Well,
really, 1/3 of us?
It seems high. Like 1 out of 3 of us knows someone who's done this on vacation. I guess now I do via you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anyone who's left someone behind.
I feel like if you and I went on vacation together, you'd leave me behind on purpose.
That's not true. Well, I don't know you on vacation. Are you annoying?
Hello. You work with me every day.
What happened to Pooja? She's at the last port.
Thanks for listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Listen to Pooja and Gurdeep live weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Only on 98.1 CHFI.
Toronto's perfect music mix.